Alright, welcome to Test 3 review, where you're going to get to solve some equations with variables on both sides. You get to set up and solve some simple word problems, and you get to solve and graph inequalities. Again, you're more than welcome to fast forward or rewind to points that you may feel like you may need more. I'm going to go in order. I will do every single problem here, no matter how much it might annoy me, and I might even have to throw in a few examples after seeing what I did with second period and how we had some interesting answers on some of the problems. Anyways, hopefully let's get this started and we'll see where we go. Okay, so the first problem, number 1, says 2m plus 12 equals 3m minus 31. So sticking to a very simple idea, variables to the left, numbers to the right. The first thing I would have is variable to the left, subtracting 3m, since that's a positive 3m. That's how I move it to the left or to the right, is by adding or subtracting. 2m minus 3m equals negative 1m, plus 12 equals negative 31. Notice I didn't really change the numbers because I haven't done anything with them, so I just brought down the positive 12 and I brought down the negative 31. Now I'm going to move the number to the right, minus 12, and so I'm going to have negative 1m equals negative 43, divide by negative 1, and m equals positive 43. Now, to kind of, as a reminder, I'm going to put this here, and I'll get rid of the little thing, but don't forget, for an extra, well, this is an equal sign. What am I thinking about? Never mind. So that would be the answer. We're done. Okay. I'm thinking about something for inequalities, but that's the answer for that, number 1. Okay, number 2, I need to move the h over to the other side, minus h. Minus h, number. If there's no number in front, we think there's a 1. So actually minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1h. And I've got this minus 8 equals 17. And then I could say move the number to the right. Plus 8. Plus 8. I'll get 1h is equal to 25. That's a funny 25. Dividing by 1 is really not going to do anything, so I can just say here, right here, I'm done. H is equal to 25. Okay, the next problem here, 7a minus 3 equals 3 minus 2a. Again, down to 2 terms, so I can move the variables to the right, plus 2a, plus 2a. I get 9a minus 3 equals 3. I'm going to move the number to the left, plus 3, and I'll have 9a equals 6, and divide by 9. A is equal to 6 over 9, which would simplify to 2/3. And that's the answer I would be looking for. Okay, and that's it. Okay, that one came out as a fraction. I will probably try to avoid fractions on the test, so don't worry. Oops, number 4, I went a little too far. Let's go back. There we go. Go back. All right. So I can see here, I've got 4n minus 12 equals 12 minus 4n. And I can go move the variable to the left. So plus 4n, the opposite of a minus is plus. Get 8n minus 12 equals 12. Add 12, or move the 12 to the other side. You get 8n equals 24, and then you divide by 8, and you get n equals 3. So again, these shouldn't be very difficult. I mean, we're just checking these, and that's how they would flow.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so here we go for number 5. We're going to move this 7x over to the other side. Positive 7x becomes negative 7x. Negative 7x, like that. I've got 4 minus 7 is negative 3x minus 9 equals 12. Then I can put the 9 over, move the 9 to the right. That becomes positive 9 plus 9 plus 9. I've got negative 3x is equal to 21. And then I can divide by negative 3 and get x equals to negative 7. And again, there we have it for number 5. So you can see here, again, same consistent pattern. I'm not changing up anything. So we get a special case with number 6 and do the same thing. Move the 6y over. Becomes positive 6y. Like that. They cancel out. So the y's are now gone. At this point, I have negative 3 equals 3. You should be able to tell this means it's going to be no solution since the numbers are different. But I'll go ahead and finish it out so you can kind of see it. You get 0 equals 6. So 0 equals 6 is not possible, so that's no solutions. If I had gotten 0 equals 0, like everything canceled out, I would have put infinite solutions. And so there you go with that for a special case. Kind of be careful on that. Notice this can only happen, it's only possible if the numbers in front of the variable are exactly the same. Pause that. Okay, on number 7, I need to distribute first. So I'm going to distribute the 4 and get 4 times 3 is 12, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Now again, notice here they're pretty much basically the same. 8q plus 12, 12 plus 8q, which should tell me it should be infinite solutions. But I'll go ahead and finish it out, and you can kind of see there that's what's going to happen. So 0 equals 0 means infinite solutions. So again, if that was going a little too fast, you can put the infinite symbol if you'd like, then just go ahead and pause it and slow it down if you'd like. Okay, on number 8, we want to make sure we distribute. 5 times 12 is 60. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. P equals 15p plus 60. Then I can move the variable to the left. These are not the same. These are actually slightly different, so keep that in mind. Now I've got 60 minus 30p, because these cancel out, equals 60. Now when I move the number to the left, minus 60 minus 60, I get negative 30p equals 0. Divide by negative 30. Anything divided into 0 is still 0. So this answer came out to 0. Look at, say, number 9. Make this one a little bit more difficult. I'm going to distribute. I get to distribute twice. So notice that I'm doing that. Distributing both times. Trying to slow it down a little bit. So you can see here, I said 3 times y is 3y, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times y is 6y, and 6 times 1 is 6. And then combine like terms, because I've got this 6y and 3y that are basically the same on the same side. So I need to combine my like terms, and now I'll get 3y minus 6 equals 3y minus 6. Notice at this point, I basically had the same thing on both sides. That should tell me infinite solutions. But I'll go ahead and finish it out. And you can see here, 0 equals 0 would be infinite solutions. All right, because it was asked, I'll go ahead and create another problem here. Okay, I'm making this one completely up off the top of my head, so we may get a fraction answer. Let's see. Okay, so I need to distribute 5 times x, 5 times 2, that's 5x plus 10 minus 3x is equal to 4 times x, 4 times 6, which would be 4x plus 24. Combine your like terms. 5 minus 3 is 2x because they're on the same side. Notice I'm not changing anything. I'm not writing the opposites because they're on the same side. Let me get that equal sign here. 4x plus 24. Now I'm going to move the 4x over to the other side. Okay, and if you want to look at this as a wall to make sure you realize when you're crossing, that's when you're going to change them up, that's fine. So you got negative 2x plus 10 equals 24. Then I can move the 10 over to the other side, minus 10, negative 2x equals 14. Then I can divide by negative 2 to get x equals negative 7. So here's an example that came out with kind of even. Not bad for making it up off the top of my head. Yay me! Okay, number 10, all I need to do here is add 12 to both sides, so don't treat this any different. Add 12 to both sides. You get t is greater than or equal to 28. You can close dot, shaded to the right. So keep that in mind. As long as it's on the left-hand side, the variable's on the left-hand side, you can do that. And don't forget, for an extra point of credit, you can add this. Set parentheses. Okay, so keep in mind, I will do that so you can get maybe some extra points that might help. Who knows? But kind of make sure you keep that up. Okay, so let's look at the next problem. The next problem, n minus 12 is less than 6. I add 12 to both sides. I get n less than 18. So that's all I had to do there. And then from there, again, I can put the set notation. Funky, squiggly parentheses there. And at 18, I am putting an open dot shaded to the left. And that's it. Fairly simple, fairly easy. Look at number 12. I've got 6 less than or equal to g minus 3. This is a problem where I would recommend switching things first. G minus 3, 6. But notice how this points to the 6. I'm still going to keep it pointing to the 6. That way, when I do add 3 to both sides, I will get an answer where I can say, look at 9, I can put a closed dot shaded to the right, and I would see that. Whereas some of y'all, most of y'all, might mess up if you left it over here on the right-hand side. So there's a couple of easy problems right there, nothing too difficult. Look at 13. That one's fairly easy. 25g is greater than or equal to negative 100. Keep in mind here, this is multiply. The opposite of multiply is divide. So I divide. I got g greater than or equal to negative 4. Do my little set parentheses. Oh, that's a horrible set parenthesis. Let's try that again. There we go. That one looks a little bit better. All right. Anyways, negative 4, closed dot, shaded to the right. Okay, number 14. Oh no, let y'all see too much. No, go back, go back, go back. Okay, let's go back here. 14 says negative 2x is greater than or equal to 9. So again, it's a very simple problem. A lot of y'all told me that you would put plus 2. You need to realize that again, if there is nothing between the number and the variable, that means multiply, and then the opposite of multiply is to divide. So you got to be careful with that. Also, since I'm dividing by negative 2, I'm going to have to switch the inequality around. Now this one did come out as a fraction. I'm fine with that. Some of y'all are going to want the decimal just because I want the decimal. Negative 4.5. Whoop-de-freaking do. All right. Anyways, you put that in there, do that, go to the left, bada bing, bada boom, there's your set parentheses, and there's your answer. Super easy, super simple. Okay? If you look at number 15, you've got y over 6 is less than or equal to 2. Again, realize that's y divided by 6, so I need to multiply. So y is less than or equal to 12, and again, close dot, I'll put the set parentheses, close dot at 12, shaded to the left. There you go. Okay, I do apologize. This one's going to be kind of long. I'm trying not to make it, but there's a lot of problems, and I'm trying to go over them all. So that's kind of what's happening here. Notice here on this one, I've got negative 50, or negative n over 50 is greater than 22. I'm going to think of that as a negative 50. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 50 since I was dividing. And then that would give me negative 1100 for an answer. Notice because I was multiplying both sides by negative, I'm changing the direction of the inequality. Going open dot, shaded to the left. And there's your set parentheses. Right there. Gosh, I'm horrible with doing set parentheses like this. Let's try that again. That's close enough. So there you go. The next one, number 17, I have 3 over 5h is greater than or equal to negative 3. I need to say, read that as 3 times 5h, and then I can go times 5, 3 divided by 5, 3 times divided by 5, and now I've got 3 times h greater than or equal to negative 15, and then I can divide by 3 to get h greater than or equal to negative 5. Again, closed dot, shaded to the other direction, and there you go. So again, most of these should not be overly difficult. Number 18 says 11y plus 13 is greater than or equal to negative 1. Subtract 13 from both sides. I get 11y greater than or equal to negative 14, because negative and a negative means you would combine them, add them together. Then divide by 11, and y is greater than or equal to negative 14 over 11. You can leave your answer like that. It's not going to hurt you. So I've got the answer like that, negative 14 over 11. And since the way I make you do the number line is just to put the number that you got as an answer right there, this should not be difficult. Just put a closed dot over this way. I mean, you don't need to really realize that this is slightly different between negative 1 and negative 2, but I'm not going to worry about that. You're fine just like that. Okay, number 19, I'm going to let it play. You got q divided by 7 plus 1 is greater than negative 5. I want to subtract 1. Then I want to, say, multiply by 7 to get my answer. Okay, so notice I subtracted 1 and then multiplied by 7 to get my answer of negative 42. Notice the inequality didn't change, and I have an open dot. Number 20 is another one of those kind of sneaky ones. I don't like these too often. I might put them in. I might put them in as a bonus. I think that's a good one for y'all. For my CPs, this could be a bonus. For my AP, pre-APs, this could be an actual problem. But again, I would recommend doing this first. Minus 1. Notice it's pointing towards the 2/3, still pointing towards the 2/3. Greater than 13, or less than or equal to 13, less than 13, sorry. So I'm going to add 1, get 2/3 a less than 14. I'm going to multiply by 3. 2a is less than 42. And then divide by 2, get a is less than 21. So again, set parentheses. And then at the number line, 21, open dot, shaded to the left. Okay, so that one hopefully shouldn't be too bad. Y'all should be able to handle that. Number 21, negative 7h plus 1 is less than or equal to negative 34. Minus 1, minus 1. Keep in mind, if I have two negatives, I'm going to add them together. So this is negative 35. Then I'm going to divide by negative 7, which would switch the inequality around and get you a positive 5. Again, set parentheses. At 5, close dot. I have mail. Anyways, close dot, shaded to the right. All right, so now we're to the all-important word problems. I feel like that should be a different video. You know what? That will be a different video. Okay, because this is already at 19 minutes, I kind of want to make this a little bit less than that. Okay, so I'll make a second video just for the word problems. But this one, that I'm done. What I would say is this. Actually, no, I changed my mind. I'll go ahead and do it here. I say I'm not, and then I am. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Let me back up a bit here. Is 24. Okay, so 4 times the difference of a number and 5 is the same as 24. I put this one in here because a lot of times y'all are missing this on the last test, so I want to make sure you start picking this up. 4 times, I'm saying 4 times, but a lot of y'all we're focusing like on the number. What you need to already be focusing on is the difference. So what you need to focus here, this is saying 4 times the difference, which means I should already put parentheses and I should put a minus. Then I can worry about a number and 5 is the same as 24. So if I multiply this, distribute 4x minus 20 equals 24, add 20, you get 4x is equal to 44, then divide, x equals 11. So, and that's it. But the key is, are you seeing the parentheses? And you need to make sure you see those parentheses. Okay? And then we'll look at some of the others. All right, so here's the 23. 7 times a number decreased by 5 is equivalent to 4 times a number increased by 4. For my CP classes, this would probably be a bonus problem. For my pre-APs, it's going to be a required problem. So I have 7 times a number decreased by 5. This says straight, 7 times a number. So 7 times a decreased by 5 is equivalent, means equals 4 times a number. So 4a increased by 4. So plus 4. Okay, this is a variables on both sides. So I can move minus 4a, minus 4a. Oh, that was horrible. Let's try that again. 3a minus 5 is 4, plus 5, plus 5. You get 3a. Okay, someone came in, so they threw me off a little bit, but you can see here how I solved the rest of this. I added 5, and then I divided by 3 to get an answer of a equals 3. So notice, with the numbers to the left, variables to the left, numbers to the right, and then I can divide, and I have my answer. Number 24, a number decreased by 14. Decreased by 14 is, decreased by 4. Is less than 14. Okay, so now I'm back to inequalities. And so again, just a simple translation, a number decreased by 4 less than 14, and then I can go ahead and say plus 4, and get the answer. All right, so we have here a is equal to 18, less than 18. We're going to put this in set parentheses. Okay, open dot at 18, shade to the left. So I'm running a little bit long, but I'm sorry about that. Y'all are going to have to keep working with it. Okay, number 25, you've got the sum of a number and negative 2 is at most 6. So again, keep in mind what at most means. It means less than or equal to. So don't forget that. And then at least would be greater than or equal to. So all you had to do there was subtract, because I said sum. So please write plus. Notice how I wrote minus and negative 2. Add plus and negative 2. I wrote minus and negative 2 to get an answer. Yes, there might be a slightly different way to do that. If you want to, go ahead. I'm just trying to keep this simple so that you don't, make any easy little error. But close dot, shade to the left. Number 26, we got 8 times a number is at least 16. I'm just going ahead and let play. So you got to say is at least should be greater than or equal to. Notice it was just 8 times, so all I had to do was divide. Not a problem. And we'll go ahead and do the closed dot shaded to the right. Again, most of these should be simple translations. 8 times a number, this shouldn't be very difficult. 1/4 a number. Oh no, it's a fraction. It's not a hard thing. Just go with it. 1/4 of a number is greater than negative 7. So I'm going to put here 1 over 4 is 1 over 4, let's say b, multiplied by 4, and go from there. Now notice here, I'll back up a bit. I had a 1b. I don't need to worry about a 1b. Once I've multiplied, that's it. I can just, now I'm putting my set parentheses. That's the only reason why I rewrote that line. It's not a 1, that's just a line. That means such that. And there you go, shaded to the right. Notice there it didn't switch because I'm not multiplying both sides by a negative. Number 28, twice a number decreased by 9 is less than 31. So we got twice a number decreased by 9 is less than 31. And then we would say twice, again, remember, twice means 2 times a number. I've been saying this quite some time. Minus 9, less than 31, so I can add, then divide, and get that set parentheses, open dot, shade to the left. Again, add, then divide. Not a very hard concept here. Number 29, I try to be a little tricky with the quotient. You'll be fine. Again, remember, the quotient means that you got to say division. So that means I'm dividing a number, so a variable, and 5. That's all that quotient is. Quotient of a number and 5 is that, the h divided by 5. Increase plus 6 gives me 12. At most, notice out here I put at most 12, so that means I got to be less than or equal to. Keep in mind what that phrase means. Okay, subtract 6, multiply by 5, and I will get my answer. Oops, I kicked my desk. Look out. And there you go. All done. So now we're to the last question for the review, at least for the CP kids. Number 30. Handwriting might be a little bit messy, but here we go. 5 less than. Now keep in mind, that means, again, whatever's, that's a minus, because this does not say is less than, it just says less than. 5 goes after the minus. Now if I had put the word is in front of that, that would have put that in equality, but that just says less than. Keep that in mind. 2/3 a number. That would go in front of the minus. 2/3 a number is at least greater than or equal to 13. So I can add 5. 2/3 greater than equal to 18. I can multiply by 3. 2a is greater than equal to 54. Divide by 2. And I get a is greater than equal to 27. Set parentheses, da-da-da, da-da-da. Close dot, 27. Shaded to the right. And we're all done. That is that for the review. Sorry it took so long, but sometimes this happens. Okay? Hopefully you got all this. I've put in a lot of stuff in here, but I will say this. I've already mentioned how the set parentheses you get an extra point. You know, put the words thank you at the end, and then maybe I'll add another 5 points. Remember, put the words thank you at the end, and I could add some more points. Thank you very much, and good luck.